Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are a new subscriber, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, what a do, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Sizagede Timber, also known as Simply Jasmine, and if you do not know by now, welcome to my world. So as mentioned in this description box, this video is specially dedicated to my first years who will be doing their first year in 2022. First and foremost, I would like to say congratulations to you guys for making it to Varsity, and I'm wishing you guys nothing but the best in your academic careers, and I'm just wishing that these tips are useful to you guys and that you are able to utilize them in the best way that suits you. And also, if you are a senior, you're more than welcome to use this video and just pick up a few tips and tricks. And yeah, this is just a few tips that I learned along the way, and also considering that I have completed my studies, I thought it would be best to share some tips. And also, if you are seeing this video now and you have been in varsity, you are also more than welcome to share some tips and tricks in the comment section. And yeah, let's get into it. Very first advice that I am giving you guys is do not be a race makoti. Don't be a race makoti, because I have seen that a lot of people come to race with the mentality that now that they're at race, they have the freedom to just do whatever that they want. And though you do have the liberty to do whatever you want, I just feel like being a race makoti just takes away from the whole purpose of why you are in varsity, and also just takes away from your whole purpose. And yeah, there's no good that ever comes out of being a race makoti. I don't think I've been a race makoti, though I have been in a relationship at race, and I did see how that had affected me in my studies and the energy that I put into my schoolwork, and obviously in my friendships. And yeah, but somebody else might come and say, oh, they met their soulmate, their husband, their wife at race. Everyone has a different story to tell, but I feel like being a race makoti is not it. Please don't be a race husband. If you feel like you can't cook, please learn how to cook. If you feel like you can't do your own laundry, please learn. There's nothing cute in not being able to cook your own food or wash your own clothes, and it just takes away from the whole essence of being a student and enjoying life as a student, and also just experiencing relationships as a student. My second advice is always ask for help. I know that we all have different personalities and we all see things differently, and somebody else might say that asking questions does give them a lot of anxiety, and I would like to sit here and say that I have also been that person. For the whole 4 years that I've been in varsity, for a majority of those years, I spent my years not asking questions and not participating in class, and that did affect my studies. And to some extent, I wish if I could go back in time, I would ask more questions. And as a bonus, that does help in your communication and presentation skills. If you are not afraid to speak in front of your classmates, then the world is your oyster. You are able to do just whatever. But also taking into consideration that some people are anxious people, some people are introverts. So it does take time to build up to the moment of wanting to ask questions. But I do suggest, Uti, if you're going to start varsity as a first year, teach yourself to ask questions, even if it's a stupid question. If you feel like your question is redundant, it might not be redundant to somebody else. So it is also a good thing, Uti, when you ask questions, somebody else might be afraid to ask questions. And you asking that question might just encourage the other person to ask questions. Next is build relationships with your tutors and your lecturers. So that also draws into the advice that I gave you before this, and it just emphasizes the whole purpose of speaking out and asking the necessary questions. And if you have relationships with your tutors or your lecturers, then you are able to ask questions, and that also draws into the idea that you'll understand your content better and you want to learn. And obviously, this just builds your communication skills. Communication skills are so important. I don't know, I do not know how this has happened, but I do realize the importance of communication skills now. And just having a relationship with those people does build a lot of trust and confidence in yourself and the lecturers and the people who are guiding you in this whole degree that you're trying to achieve. The next advice I'm giving you guys is do not wait until test week to study. Also, because people have this mentality of cram, pass, and forget. The CPF method does not work, guys, in varsity. And sometimes your modules are built and designed in a way that the things that you learned in the previous module might be used in the next module. So you cramming, passing, and forgetting whatever you learned in the previous module will not help you in the next module. So then you'll just have a constant loop of you CPFing your way through varsity, and that is not helpful at all, especially if you're planning on pursuing a career in the degree that you studied. And sometimes and just not know what you studied. And another thing is that catching up in varsity is hard, guys. Don't tell yourself because you're going to study 2 days prior to the exam or the test that you'll have enough knowledge to ace the exam. It doesn't work like that, and some other people might have better study methods that help them retain information faster. They might have study methods that just help them learn for that time being. But it is very advisable that you study before a week or 2 weeks before. Just prepare, and then by the time that test week or exam week draws closer, you just revise the work that you studied. That also just lessens the workload for you, and you just have a better understanding of the content. Then you know which are your weak areas, which are your best areas, and which areas need more work, or where you might need to consult other people to help you. My next advice is join societies, whether it is an academic society, whether it is a religious society, whether it is a society that just focuses on or just encompasses personalities and creates a community for students where they can just band together, come together and talk about certain life topics, where they can just come together and build each other, just whatever. And I learned this the hard way. Obviously when COVID hit, I told myself I would join a society and just participate. But when COVID happened, I just decided to focus on my studies and my personal life, and I didn't participate in societies. And I feel like those societies could have helped me in my future, which is now, obviously because now I am a job seeker. Those experiences could have helped build my resume. Those experiences could have just built me as a person. And yeah, I just feel like societies are good for a person's growth, because whether you are on board or off board or just participating, those are very crucial things. They're part of varsity experience. And I don't know if you guys had joined any societies in your high schools. Obviously this also depends on the type of school that you went to, but if you get to varsity, please do consider joining societies. Ask around. There is obviously, I believe, an open day specifically targeted at societies, and that's where you can get all your information and just be exposed to the number of societies that exist in your university. The next advice I am going to share with you guys is important, and I feel like it's important to a point where it also encompasses your whole journey as a student and your whole journey in varsity. And that advice is learn how to balance your social life and your academic life. As a student, guys, you will obviously explore more things to yourself. You'll understand what it is you enjoy, what it is you don't enjoy, and the type of people that you want to surround yourself with. But it is also good to have a social life. It is okay to go to Groove once in a while. It is okay, guys, to go to the mall and just buy yourself an ice cream. It is also okay to just stand outside and just socialize with people, whether it be for an hour or 2 hours, whatever schedule you have for yourself. It is very, very important. It is of paramount importance that you do explore who you are outside of academics, and just finding a balance between those things is very good. Again, groove is also healthy. If you groove in A proper manner. I don't know if there is a proper manner to grooving, but just find a balance between your academics and your social life. Don't find yourself sacrificing your academics over groove, because that is a recipe for disaster. There's a very small percentage of people who can say Uti they grooved more than they studied, but also that also goes in hindsight of who you are and how you view your academics and how important your academics are to you. If you are a person who just wants to glide through life and is comfortable with acing 50s, if that is your average, I'm not here to judge you, but I'm just asking, Uti, please learn how to balance your social life and your academic life. The next advice that I'm going to give you guys is attend your lessons and always stay up to date. Like I mentioned before, it is very hard for a person to lose focus in varsity, and it is also very hard to keep up and catch up on the previous work that you lost out on. One day uzobona uku week 2, and then mautia papama you are on week 8 and you do not remember what it is that happened before. You do not know what was said in class because you were not attending your lessons, and you just do not know what is happening in your life. So it is very also important for you to stay organized and just knowing what is happening in your academic life, just knowing when your assignments are, when your tests are going to be, and just knowing what week you guys are on and what study content you are supposed to learn in that particular week. The next tip I'm going to share with you guys is build sustainable and meaningful relationships. So this is in the sense of making friends and networking. Guys, the people you went to varsity with are the people that are going to help you in your future, just in the future. You do not just have to make friends within your degree. Network with people either in your race, network with people on the bus, network with people on campus. You never know who you might bump into in the future and who you might need assistance from. Don't go into varsity with the mindset you only need a certain number of people in your life, though it is necessary to have a standard group of people that you trust. It is also important for you to expand your horizons and just have a pool of people who you are able to say, this is my acquaintance, this is somebody that I met in varsity, and just leaning on them. I'm not saying to make friends for the sake of making friends. I'm just saying to build meaningful relationships that you know to one day in the future when you need assistance, you know you might fall back on that person and know there is somebody that you know who is able to assist you. Okay. Okay. Network, guys. Network. Don't just rely on social media to be your network. Network. Even if it's just somebody you meet in the bus, greet that person. Don't be awkward. Don't be awkward. Don't be a Sizagele and just tell yourself, hey, I'm shy. So greeting you does take a lot of energy. Just do it, guys. Do it. You never know who you might meet. What if you're meeting the future Bill Gates? What if you're meeting the future president of the country? Just do it. Don't be shy. Do it. Another thing is that if you live in a race, it is very easy to make friends. Easy, 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 easy. Somebody might know you, but they might know your name, and that is just the whole purpose of being varsity. I do not know how many people I know that but I know that person, I met them in a particular setting or a particular place. So being in a race and just networking at race is very important. Those are your lifelong friends, guys. Those are your lifelong friends. My next advice, okay, this is very, very important. Please listen carefully. Listen carefully. My next advice is don't date comrades. Don't do it, sweetheart. Don't do it. This is this is advice that stems from obviously being a female and seeing how life is in varsity when you're exposed to comrades. I mean, it is okay to have them as friends, but don't go further. And if you decide to go further, please do your research on the person. Do it. I do not know how many people I've come across who have told me, Uguti, the first thing you don't do in varsity is you don't date comrades. Those people are, I don't know how to describe them. Vultures. they feed into the whole essence of you being a first year. Do not date a comrade. At least wait a few months before you can decide to date a comrade. And also, if it is your first few weeks, obviously, I think when you get to varsity, it can literally take you a month or 2 months to find your tribe or just having a solid group of friends. But I would advise you to not date the people who assist you in your registration week. A lot of people prey on the idea that because they helped you, you now have to repay them in some sort of favor. And I've seen that happen before. That's why I am sharing this with you guys. So I'm just saying, Uti, please do not date comrades. Don't do it. Don't do it. For the life of me, I am begging you. Okay? I am begging you. Please don't do it. If you love your life, if you love your life, sweetheart, you will not do it. Choose peace rather. So the next advice I am going to give you guys is socialize. Socialize, make new friends, try new things. And obviously, if you are a person who, let's say for example, I live in Orange Farm and I went to study in the Val. But the Val was a whole new different environment for me because when I got to the Val, I spoke a lot of Sotho, did speak a lot of Sotho, and then to some extent people thought what being Sotho because I spoke a lot of Sesotho. And I was now shifting away from my high school environment and now being exposed to varsity and a whole new lifestyle. So I think it is very important to try new things and making new friends. But the most important point I'm giving you guys in this tip is that make friends outside of your own racial group. So if you are Sotho, please do not be afraid of making friends who are Zulu or Tsonga or just Venda. Do make friends outside of your own tribe. Don't associate yourself solely with the people belonging in your tribe. I mean, obviously, it is easier to make friends within your own tribe and within your own ethnicity, but it is also important that you do learn a bit about other cultures and a bit about other people and how they live their lives and also how they communicate. You never know, you might come out learning a new language. I mean, with me, guys, don't ungangami. I think out of the 11 official languages, I know how to speak 8 fluently, and the rest I can just understand on a intermediate level. But I know how to speak every language. It's just that sometimes I cannot converse fully in the languages, but as I'm saying, I am fluent in 8 languages. So it wasn't hard for me to just learn about other people and just understanding them in their own languages and them understanding me in my own language. But it is also important to just explore. Okay, explore. My next advice is finding a new hobby. I know Uti as people, predominantly black people. I know Uti for a vast majority of us, it was hard if you were still living with your parents and now shifting into this new environment where you are completely independent and just finding your own voice and just learning who you are and just exploring. I know with other people, it wasn't easy to just be who you are because of the environment that you were in and the type of space that you were living in. That's why I'm saying race is also important to a person's development. You might explore more pieces to you and just finding out who you are and what your preferences are and what you don't like, and yeah, just understanding who you are as a person. This also ties into what type of hobbies you enjoy. If you want to learn music, please do. If you want to learn how to dance, please learn. If you want to learn how to draw or just creating things, please learn. At risk, it is very easy for a person to learn and just finding their own independence and freedom. Freedom. It's like being cast into a world where you are set in this position and just now you are forced to find out who you are. I mean, obviously, you cannot have your whole life figured out in the whole 4 years or 3 years that you have to complete your degree. But I do feel like it does play a large role into who you become as an adult. My next point, guys. I am not even proud of saying this, but manage your money wisely. Guys, mina, I do not know what happens ngemali evarsity. Imali iyanyamalala. Imali iyabhubhusheka eRS. Guys, if you're a varsity student, one day upapa will spend a 1 rand here, a 2 rand there, and next thing you spend 1,000. I do not know what happens to imali in varsity, but please, guys, please learn how to budget. Please please learn how to budget. I mean, obviously, this is something that I learned in my final year. Okay, in my final year, I did learn how to use my own money wisely and just spreading my budget across the whole month so that I know when times are tough. Hey, when times are tough, you just say ring ring and call it home. But I know other people do not have the luxury of calling home and just saying they need money. I also wasn't that person, but I'm just saying if you feel like things are getting too hard on you, just bear in mind there's how many days in a month? 60, guys. In varsity there's no 30 days in a month. Uzobona when it's payday, obviously if you're a bursary recipient, in the first few days you feel like a baller. Like a baller, man. Don't be that person, honey. Don't be that person. Just learn how to use your money wisely. And also, please do not live beyond your means. If you know what your budget is 1,000 rand for a month, please learn to live within that budget. If you know what your budget is 2,000 and you are receiving money from wherever, then obviously you know what your budget is. But I'm saying if you live on a budget and if you survive on a budget, please learn how to use your money wisely. Don't be irresponsible. If you know what you like certain things, if you know what you love, clothes, if you know what you love, alcohol, obviously all of our priorities are different. I bought food, guys. I bought food more than I purchased alcohol or clothes or makeup. I did none of that, guys. I made sure I had food before purchasing other things, and obviously I did not splurge on a lot of things because I knew if I splurge on a certain item, it might be hard for me to have money again. And then obviously the month is very long, so making it to the next payday was very hard, guys. It's like crawling through the desert, like bunzima, guys, bunzima. And that's why I'm saying learn how to manage your money wisely. Next advice I am giving you guys is very straightforward, to a point where I don't feel like I should add anything to it. Be organized. Be organized. Okay, guys, be organized. That is very important. If you know how to manage your time, if you know how to stick to your schedule, if you know how to prioritize events and certain things in cohesion with your academic life, then you're good to go. But just know how to be organized. And then next up is do not be comfortable with just 50%. I know there are certain modules that are hard, guys. They might kick the life out of you. But what I'm saying is don't be the chancer who tells themselves 50% is a distinction in their eyes. Obviously, if you're a person who has low aspirations in life, guys, I am just I'm calling a spade a spade. If you're just in it for passing and just getting it over and done with, that is also okay. Different strokes for different folks. If you want to study further, you might find some courses want you to have an average of 65 to 70, if not from 70 going up. And admission, guys, admission into an honors program is very hard unless you want to study further with diplomas and your NQF 6s, your NQF 5s. That is also up to you. Majority of honors programs are so strict to a point where if the average that they are looking for is a 70%, basically when we are figure with your 68%, it is hard to get into that honors program unless there is a deficit of people. Then you are the exception. But do not settle for a 50. That thing, guys, that thing will make your academic record look like a disaster. Because in the future, your future employers might want to see your academic records, and to them, they might see you as an underachiever. And I know Varsity is hard, guys, but please strive at least for your 60% and your 70%. And if I'm not mistaken, a 75% is a distinction in Varsity as opposed to an 80% in high school. So please always strive for marks higher than 60. My next advice is be wary of the people you surround yourself with. So as a first year in Varsity, you are exposed to a multitude of people and you want to explore, because sometimes the excitement of Varsity does get to you, but please don't succumb to the pressures. Tell yourself, I am here to study and I'm here to make friends who will be contributing And I'm here to make friends who will be beneficial to my life, who will bring purpose into my life, who will bring good things into my life and good energy. Don't surround yourself with people who will expose you to things ozaziyo wena ukuthi they are beyond your means. If you know ukuthi umntana uzithandela isonto, who just loves a simple life, and then you get to varsity and all of a sudden you want to go clubbing every week or every day and just hanging around with the bad crowd. Obviously that is also your decision. Don't get lost in the sauce, guys. Don't get lost in the sauce. My next advice is find your own study methods. As mentioned in this video, some people survive on the cram pass and forget method. Please don't CPF your life out of varsity. Just find your own study method, find what works best for you, and also find the type of environment that you prefer to study in. If you feel like you study better in your rest room, if you feel like you study better at home, if you feel like you also study better at the library, please find the best place that you enjoy studying in. And also for me, I think this also worked best for me because I was a student at the Northwest University, the Val Triangle campus, which is very close to the river. So at times when I felt I needed a change of scenery and I was tired of studying in my room, I would literally take a bus, go to campus and sit near the river and study, because that also worked for me a lot. So just finding the type of environment where you're comfortable in studying in, and also the type of study methods that work best for you. Another thing is that don't be scared by the idea yokuthi because you were a top performing student in your high school and then you get to varsity and all of a sudden your marks drop. It is very normal, guys. In varsity, it is very normal. Some people find they were good in high school and then drop when they get to varsity, and then some people, they find they were bad in high school and then when they get to varsity umuntu achieve your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, just acing all of their marks. And then that's what I'm saying, every person's journey is different. You might find you pick up when you get to varsity, sometimes you drop, but don't let that define you. There are people who are willing to listen to you. You just need to find the right person. There are people who are able and willing to help you in varsity. Don't die alone, guys. Depression is real, and I think when you get to varsity, the more easy it is for a person to slip into a depressive coma. Please don't be that person. Learn how to speak up. Don't settle, guys. Don't settle. If you see and you feel your marks are dropping, do not settle. Find people who are willing to help you. Find people who are in your degree, who are able to assist you. And also find people who are also a year above you, who are willing to help you and just give you some tips on how to improve. Don't be quiet, guys. And just be comfortable with the idea you're failing. If you need help, please speak up. Another thing that I'm going to tell you guys is that before buying a textbook, okay, I know that some modules have prescribed textbooks. Some are online, some are available in physical format. If that module requires you to buy a textbook, please, guys, please find out if you can get a online soft copy of the textbook, or if you can get a second hand of the textbook. Because, guys, textbooks in varsity are expensive. They are expensive to a point where you could find yourself spending close to 1,200, 1,300, I'm not sure about other modules, on a single textbook. So please inquire, guys. Please ask the necessary questions. I know on our campus we had the black market where they literally had a whole market of textbooks, and people would go there and see which textbooks could they get, and for a lesser price, guys. Obviously secondhand means it has to be cheaper. Please ask, guys, please ask. And obviously it is also different if the lecturer requires a newer edition of the textbook. But also find out how long you guys are going to use that textbook, because you do find for some modules you might need to purchase a textbook and then only use that textbook for one chapter. A chapter that could have been loaded for you guys online. So please ask the necessary questions and gather your own information, guys. Just find out. My next point is have a solid support system, guys. Have a support system. Support system, guys, is important, especially if you are a varsity student. I know some people do not have solid support systems from emakaya, from at home, but if you get to varsity, Surround yourself with people who are willing to see you grow as an individual. Don't surround yourself with people who only tell you about enjoyment. Any little enjoyment, guys. Any little enjoyment. Please, please figure out who is good for you and figure out who is not good for you. And that is also the type of people who will make up your support system. It can be your friends, it can be your classmates, it can be the people who you live with. I know Uguti, with me, I had my friends who lived at rest with me. So it is very easy for me to have that support system in place. And obviously, I had my family at home. And though it was different for me, I know Uti, though my family supported me, they did not understand some of the pressures that come with being in varsity. So that is why it is important to have a mix, guys. Have a mix at home and have a mix in varsity. Just know Uti who is in your corner, who is willing to support you when you're feeling down. Just know Uti who is there to support you when you're feeling like a pimp. Please, guys, just have a solid support system. Just people who are there for your growth and just bringing positivity, guys, in your life. We all need some positivity in our lives. We all need some happiness. We all need, guys, we all need people in our corner, guys. Don't tell yourself what you can get through varsity alone. You cannot do it. You will not do it. There are a lot of people who came into varsity with the idea, I can get through varsity alone. Guys, it doesn't work like that. And a lot of modules require you to work with people. A lot of modules require you to participate in a group because they are also building you for the job market. They are also prompting you and just emphasizing the importance of having people who are there just to help you. Okay, so that's why it is important to have a solid support system, guys, in varsity. Don't be a sheep, guys. Don't be a sheep. It is very important to stay true to who you are, remembering who you are, and just knowing why you are in varsity. Don't be a sheep. Don't follow the masses. Don't just do whatever the next person is doing. Monkey see, monkey do does not work in varsity. Guys, that is a recipe for disaster. Always stay true to yourself. Be original, guys. Be original, okay? Be original. Right? So that is the end of this video. If you feel like you need to know more about student related tips, please do subscribe to my channel. And if you have more tips to contribute, please do not forget to link them in the comment section below. And yeah, guys, please do not forget to enjoy varsity. This is honestly the best time of your life. If you have the liberty of living in race, please make the most out of it. Make friends. Socialize, guys. Socialize. Don't forget to prioritize your mental health. Just do things that are beneficial to you, but know how to enjoy the moment that is varsity. Varsity is an experience that I cannot take away from anyone. Anyone who has been in varsity can tell you, Uguti, this has been some of the best moments in their lives. And obviously, if you're in varsity for the duration of 3 years or 4 years, even 5 years, guys, please remember, Uguti, everyone's journey is different. My journey might not be the same to yours, even though we're doing the same course. Always bear in mind, Uguti, we are all here for different things. And also bear in mind, Uguti, we are all different people with different subsets and different morals. So just staying true to who you are and not losing yourself in the source. Just stay true to yourself. Enjoy varsity, guys. And I'm hopeful Uguti Sizonibona, sending graduate and just wearing your gowns. Doing the most, guys. Doing the most. But do not forget Uguti varsity is a short time in your life. Don't think Uguti because varsity is 3 years, you can do whatever, you have enough time. There's never enough time, guys, in the world. There is never enough time. And if you are going back to contact learning, guys, please do the most. Do the most, okay? Do the most. I am emphasizing this because I know, Uguti, if you do the most, you can get the most out of it, okay? You will get the most out of varsity. Enjoy, guys. Enjoy. But also do not forget why you are there. So that is all for me for now. If you enjoyed this video and you would love to hear more student related tips and tricks and also just to see my face again, please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. And also please do not forget to turn on your notifications so that every time I post a new video, you'll be amongst the very first few people to know about it. Okay? Bye.